Welcome to my latest Horus Heresy battle report. This time we're going big, 5,000 points worth of big. And Horus himself is taking to the field and being hunted by Layman Russ. So 2 Primarchs on the field, 5,000 points on the battle grid. The only mission that makes sense is Tide of Carnage. The way this works is you get points if you control a zone at the end of the game, and it's your deployment zone, no man's land, and your opponent's deployment zone. Playing Dawn of War deployment here. It lasts for 5 turns. Don't know who's deploying on what side yet. And the way you control a zone is if you have troops in your zone and no enemy units, no enemy troops in that zone. Same for the middle. Same for your opponent's one, and in this one the heavy armor rule is in effect, so vehicles also score. So for example, if I wanted to control the no man's land in the middle of the table, I would need a vehicle or a scoring unit in the middle of the table. My opponent has no vehicles or scoring units in the middle of the table. What you've got to do here is hunt down all the line units that your opponent has and all the armor that your opponent has. Essentially, you're trying to kill as much as possible in this Tide of Carnage, lock down the zones while 2 Primarchs go to war. The battle map's from urbanmaps.com, as is all the scenery that you can see, the craters and these pre-painted ruins. And here is my combined force of traitors, Emperor's Children and Sons of Horus. Now, at 5,000 points, it's very hard to stick to the force organization chart, so we agreed beforehand that what we'd do is double primary force organization chart. So I've got a primary of Sons of Horus, a primary of Emperor's Children, and of course the warlord is Horus himself. This is the Horus Ascended model, running him as Horus today because Horus Ascended is 1,000 points, and he's rocking in with a unit of 10 Justaeran Terminators and a Spartan, and that's 1,680 points, I think, just this lot here inside the tank. That's more than a quarter of my army, so he's definitely just running as Horus today. He'll be busting up the field with his 10 Justaeran. Joining him and leading the Emperor's Children is Eidolon, busting forward in a Land Raider, and then we have another Land Raider with Palatine Blade Squad, an Apothecary and a Chaplain. So triple tanks, lots of forward pressure supported by troops and dreadnoughts in the backfield. Now, Horus is the warlord. What he does is he makes my whole army stubborn and improves their leadership by 1, including the Emperor's Children, which is actually pretty huge. It means I'm unlikely to get pinned or fall back. He's also an absolute beast in close combat with a 3-up invulnerable save, and he's Horus. He's the War Master. Once per battle, normally you get a reaction, a phase, like a reaction to the movement phase, reaction to the tune phase, but once per battle I can have 2 reactions in every phase for 1 turn. The Justaeran, I've given them all power axes. Except for the 3 that have hammers. There's 2 multi-melters in there as well, and the standard, so they score. The Spartan's got a flare shield, and then Eidolon is also coming along with a retinue with a standard, so they score with Phoenix Terminators. And what we've got here is, I should mention, Rites of War. We're doing the long march here for Sons of Horus. It means I get +1 movement. You have to put Terminators either in outflank or in the Spartan, so they'll be in the Spartan. So this stuff actually gets an extra movement. And Sons of Horus, in the first round of combat, it's -1 strength. When the opponent fights them, -1 strength. So they really want to get up and punching. The Emperor's Children, in close combat, if they charge, they get +1 initiative. So they'll be fighting first. And the Rite of War I've picked for this one is 3rd Company Elite. Now, 3rd Company Elite has a number of restrictions in it, which we're good. But essentially what it means is you have to pay for surgical augmentations everywhere. This is after Isfahan 3 and 5. This is later. And Fabius Bile has been doing his thing. Every character has got a surgical augment. And I think I've given it, it's all Sonic Shriekers everywhere where you see characters, which basically means not only in the first round of combat am I an extra initiative, but in the first round of combat when they are charged or when they charge, the enemy has -1 to hit them. The Sonic Shriekers knocking them back and making them all a kerfuffle and things. kerfuffle. So we've got Eidolon, 5 dudes, banner. Over here we have a chaplain and a Palatine blade squad. They've all got charnable blades, and there's an apothecary running around in that squad as well. The Land Raiders are what you see is what you get. So all decked out with all the las cannons, all the multi-melters all round. In the backfield, 2 units of infantry, Vexilla, Artificer Armor. These guys have chainswords. There's some Phoenix Rapiers on the sergeants as well, which are like power swords, but as well as rend on a 6-up, they do instant death on a 6-up, and the characters in these squads have been given surgical augmentation as well, the Sonic Shriekers. 2 Dreadnoughts running forward, Melter Fists. We have a unit of Cacophony. These are fearless. Their weapons get hot and they tend to kill themselves quite a lot as well. I could have put the Apothecary in with the Cacophony instead with the Palatine Blade Squad, but you know, let them kill themselves is what I say. Let them kill themselves. These guys, it makes more narrative sense that that's where the chaplain is. This is his command team of Palatine Blades. This is Eidolon with his command squad with the banner waving in the breeze. So these guys have been given a rhino because their weapons are assault, so they can move around, jump out of that thing and shoot. It gives them one hell of a threat range. And Cacophony Sonic Shriekers, they're pinning with Shell Shock 1, so -1 to leadership if you take any casualties if you take any wounds from these guys. And then I also had a rapier over here as well, just quad battery rapier because of points. They're only 40 points for these things. Maybe it'll kill 1 or 2 things. In the backfield, for the Sons of Horus, 2 squads, Artificer Armor on all the sergeants, just like the Artificer Armor on the Emperor's Children stuff. Vexillas everywhere. Not sure if I really need them because I might not fail morale in this one, being leadership high because of Horus. One have got chain bayonets. One have got the sword, what are they called? Chain glaives, I think. Anyway, they've been getting some close combat love. What you see is what you get. Plasma pistols in there, power fist on one, claw on the other. And then there is the Dreadnought running forward with triple fist combo. The Gravis fist in one hand and the other fist in the other. Just lots of melter. I'm aware that the Russ and the Rout are incredibly scary in close combat, and getting close to them may not be the best thing, but hopefully all my Sonic Shriekers will keep me safe. And also Emperor's Children and Sons of Horus, their rules are all about getting close and personal. And this Horus model is fire. It's been gloriously painted by Den of Imagination Painting Studios. In fact, they painted all of my Sons of Horus except for the Just Terran. I did them. So thank you very much, Dan. And joining us today is Sam. Say hi, Sam.
Hi, Sam.
You got a lot of Space Wolves today. What's that all about?
I've come to slay the Warmaster.
Why have you got so many more wolves than me? Your army's much bigger.
Heavy infantry, mate. They come to slay him.
I think it's because
Swarm him.
no, I think it's because mine is much more quality. Yours is just quantity. Yours is like weaker.
I think we'll find out today that they're just going to come straight through you.
So this is not 5,000 points worth of Sons of Russ because we've put 10 Grey Slayers on the table and we ran out of room.
Yeah.
There's 30 more of these guys. 2 squads of 20.
Yep.
And these are basically almost like tactical marines, but they come with shields and Fenrisian axes and counterattack and things like that. Heart of the Legion, skirmish. So they're like your troop stuff. Yeah. So this plus 30 more guys, you got a lot of stuff.
I've got a lot of stuff.
Space Wolves, they can run and charge.
So yeah, infantry can run and charge.
Right.
If it's not infantry keyword, so Primarch, Cataphracti, etc., Dreadnoughts, on the charge you get +1 weapon skill.
They're infantry.
But no, but they're Cataphracti, so they can't run.
So
because they can't run,
they
get the +1 weapon skill as well.
So run and charge, but if you can't run, then you get +1 weapon skill.
And if you're not infantry.
So like Dreadnoughts.
Dreadnoughts and Russ, so he'll be weapon skill 9 on the charge.
Wow, 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 wow.
Yeah.
So hitting me on 3s while I'm hitting you on 5s,
yes,
essentially. Okay, and double Force Org for you as well. Talk us through what you've got here.
So we've got HQ-wise.
Right.
We've got a Speaker of the Dead.
Yes.
So basically he's a chaplain and an apothecary all in one. So he gives me stubborn and hatred, and he gives me a 5-up feel no pain.
Brilliant.
And then I've got a Rune Priest. So basically he has a Winds of Fenris power.
Yes.
Which gives me a 5-up shrouded. But if I take a leadership test on him, so psychic check, he can give a unit within 6, including his own, a 3-up shrouded.
3-up. shrouded,
Yes.
which is crazy. And I don't think I've got any ignores cover weaponry.
No.
I do like the fact, by the way, that as a loyalist, you just started with the little guys. You didn't even start with Russ.
No.
You didn't even start with the Russ.
Russ is on his way. Here he is. So he's got his 2 walls, Frecky and Gary.
Yep.
They're actually, one's weapon skill 7, one's weapon skill 5, I believe. They're really fast. And then we've obviously got Russ, who's just a combat monster, really.
Yes.
He's got 9 attacks on the charge, 10 if he gets charged because he has counter attack 2.
Right.
Weapon skill 8, if he charges, he gets weapon skill 9.
Yes.
He's got 2 weapons, but the main one is his sword, which gives Murder Strike 4+.
Yes.
It's mastercrafted. It's also Brutal 2, which is really good for a Primarch.
And it swipes at initiative.
Yeah, and his initiative is 7.
Because World Breaker for Horus is also brutal too, but that's unwieldy.
Yeah.
So that swings last. The 2 wolves, the way it works is they can run off on their own, or you can join them with Russ. They've got a rule, so the only independent character that can join them is Russ.
Yes.
So that's how that works. And yeah, Russ is a beast. He's an absolute beast.
Yeah, he's got 2 up, 4 up, and he gets a 3 up in run against certain weapons like plasma and melter, etc. So he's going to be hard to shift.
But a 4 up invulnerable save in close combat is quite interesting because I have a 3 up invulnerable save in close combat.
Yeah, but as if you can hit me if I'm weapon skill 9.
Well, yeah, that's a thing. So we've got him. Who are these fellas?
These are Varangirs, so basically like Wolfguard in 40k. So these are the elite of the elite from his company.
Right.
So they're all kind of, I would almost call them like mini Traitors.
Okay.
Because they're weapon skill 5. They've got 2 specialist weapons, which are Thunder Hammers and a mixture of Frost Axes and Frost Swords.
Okay.
That gives me an extra attack, so I have 2 specialist weapons. And the Space Wolf special thing, again, is if they charge, they get +1 weapon skill, so then they're weapon skill 6, so they're similar to Traitors in combat.
Okay.
Cataphracti plate, they do Hammer of Wrath, they give Fear. They're just a really good Terminator unit.
Nice, okay.
And they're going to be in dedicated transports, which are 2 Land Raiders.
Okay.
With all the las cannons.
Yes.
Then we've got a single Apothecary. He's probably going to go in one of the big 20-man Greyslayer packs.
Right.
We got 10 Tartarus because this is making use of the Space Wolves run and charge because they can run in their Tartarus plate.
Right.
All with Lightning Claws, Sergeant with Hammer.
And if you put, normal Tartarus are only weapon skill 4.
Yeah.
These guys can run, so that doesn't get up to weapon skill 5.
No.
But if you put the Chooser of Slain with them, which is a Chaplain and an Apothecary all rolled into one, that means they're going to be re-rolling all hits. And then with all the claws, they're going to be re-rolling all wounds.
Yes.
Hammer on the Sergeant, though. I think it's always good to put a hammer on the
nice
Sergeant.
hammer.
Flare Shield on the Spartan.
Flare Shield, Mouldy Melder, and all the las cannons.
Okay, yeah, same for me. Yeah, okay.
Then we've got more troops. So these are the Grey Stalkers.
Grey Stalkers, not Grey Slayers.
Yes, they're quite expensive, but they're coming with rhinos. The cool thing about these guys, again, they've got Relentless, so they can shoot their bolters, etc., and charge.
Right.
And they can actually take special weapons in their squad. So in each squad,
yep.
They've got 2 Melder guns.
Yep.
I think it fits the theme quite nicely of just having the unique Space Wolf troops, because this is how kind of Russ designed his Legion. It's kind of like no other Legion.
So they're kind of beef tactical Marines. You've paid for the bolt guns everywhere. So you've got bolt guns, bolt pistols, and chainswords for all the extra attacks.
Correct.
And 2 melters in there.
Yeah. And the thing is as well, the chainswords on the charge, Russ gives everything +1 strength, so they're going to be strength 5, so winning on 3s with shred.
That's Russ's thing on the charge.
That's Russ's thing, that everything in my army has +1 strength.
Okay, because the War Master, that's +1 leadership and everyone's stubborn.
Yeah.
Okay, +1 strength, right.
And they're going to be inside 2 rhinos.
Yes.
Then we have some more line, because line is always good in Heresy.
Yes.
We've got an assault squad that's probably going to be in Deep Strike.
Yep.
Sergeant's got Melter Bomb and a Power Sword. And other than that, they're just chainsaws, bolt pistols, just here to do some scoring and annoy you, basically.
Okay, I'm already annoyed.
Then we've got 2 Dreadnoughts. We've got a Contemptor with Gravis Las Cannons and the Melter in the Fist.
Yep.
And then we've got a Leviathan Dreadnought with all the claws and Melters in the Fist and Volkite.
Okay. And then adding on some pain, I see a Scorpius, I see an Arquiter, and I see
a Javelin.
A Javelin.
Yeah.
So you've got a lot more stuff than me.
I've got a lot of stuff, yeah.
And 30 more boys that we couldn't find room for.
Yeah.
And lots of scoring, because these are all line, and then all vehicles which are not flyers are also line, Skimmer can never counter scoring and denying. So you've got lots and lots of scoring options all across the board as we try and tear each other apart. And then in the latter part of the game, see who's controlling any zones, if any. It might just come down to kill more. Maybe no one ends up controlling any of the zones here. Maybe in this Tide of Carnage, maybe it just comes down to who's killed more, whether a Primarch's dead or not. And Ross and Horus going straight at it. I don't know who will turn out to be the victor. And we're deployed for this 5,000 point game of Tide of Carnage. The rout has been unleashed to try and slay the War Master. I've got War Master and the Just Terran in the Spartan down here, and the 20 Sons of Horus infantry are on foot, and they're just going to come running on with a Land Raider on one side and Land Raider on the other side flanking the position. The Cacophony are in the Rhino there. So I've got 20 troops in reserve, and the rout have left the Assault, the Jump Pack Marines in reserve as well. They're going to be deep striking on. And in the nasty Spartan, you've put Lehman Russ himself in there with the Speaker of the Dead.
Yeah, and the Tartarus, just to keep them safe.
Okay, which means you can stick the Wolves in there with them. They're just going to be running around on their own as well. So you've got Wolves and Dreadnoughts, tip of the spear. There are Terminators in that one. 20-man squad with the Rune Priest down there, and a 20-man squad with the Apothecary down there. Hiding in the backfield, of course, is the Scorpius, because that could lob shells over the top. And there are 10 Grey Stalkers in that Rhino on that flank. 10 Grey Stalkers in the Rhino on that flank. You've got, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. There's a lot more of you than there is of me. But of course, Horus won the roll-off to deploy first and go first. So you're going to let me go first, or do you want to steal? Stealing's bad, and it's not what Loyalists do.
We're going to steal from Horus, though.
Just seize the initiative on a 6.
Can we catch you by
surprise?
surprise?
This is not very Loyalist of you. No. It is Sons of Horus, turn 1. Here we are at the end of the movement phase. We just move forward. There's a little bit of running down this flank here, but just moving forward to bring all our guns to bear and crack as much as possible. We're going to start with this Land Raider here, which is firing 3 las cannons at your Land Raider and 2 las cannons at the Rhino, and the Space Wolves are choosing not to react to this. Here's the 2 las cannons into the Rhino, and both of them hit, and I need 2s to glance, and that's a penetrating hit. Sunder on the other shot, that's a penetrate and a glance, and there's no cover in the way. What does the penetrating hit do? Weapon destroys it and drops it down to 1 hull point in total. 1 minute, I've got to say the multi-melter can hit it as well, because I need it dead. That's a hit. And it doesn't do anything. No. Okay, we've got 2 las cannons coming into this Land Raider. There's the non-twin link guns which miss, and here's the one in the nose which misses with the reroll because it's twin linked. That's a hit. That doesn't pen. Sunder, that doesn't pen. It just bounces off the front of the Land Raider. So this thing, firing at everything, the worst result that I could possibly get on that thing is just rip off one of the guns. These guys along here can fire. One of them can't see, but we're going to fire down into this squad. I fired the squad in, and the quad bolter, and this dreadnought that could see them as well down into this squad of Grey Slayers. I've killed 4 of them in total. Now we're coming across to the Land Raider on the right flank, firing all of its weapons, except for the multi-melter, which is out of range, into the Arcus, and you're shrouding this shot. You're evading this shot. Here are the 4 non-twin linked las cannons on the sponsoons, and they all hit, and the one in the nose hits as well. 4's glance, 5 up pens, and Sunder gets the reroll. 3 penetrating and 1 glancing. Interesting.
Cover against the glance.
Yes.
Goes 3, and then the 3 pens.
You need 6s here, no.
And then shroud against the glance.
Yep. Negative.
And then the pens need some 5s.
Okay.
Shroud 1.
So it'll be on 1 hull point remaining unless it blows up. Let's see if we blow it up. We don't blow it up, but we do weapon destroy it and shake it. It's on 1 hull point remaining. I've ripped off one of the sponsoons. It'll be snap firing next turn, and we're on to the last thing that can fire, which is the Spartan. And I've lined it up so I can see through that hole over there and hit your Scorpiuses in the backfield.
Yep.
this tank down here because I don't want you raining barrages on me all game. But this sponsoon, I figured might as well try and go into that rhino, kill that rhino, and the multi-melter will hit the troops. So I did the multi-melter off camera, 1 dead troop. Here's the twin linked las cannon into the rhino and 1 wound remaining. They both hit. And Sunder, they both pen, no cover from this angle, and it doesn't even blow up. It's just a wreck. And the unit might be pinned as they try and get out of there.
No.
They're not pinned. And here's the las into the Scorpius, which are twin linked, and everything hit. And again, 4s will glance the front, 5s will pen with a bit of Sunder. And that's 2 penetrating hits, 2 6-up cover saves for the front of the Scorpius.
No.
And you make neither of them. And we haven't had an explosion yet, so now is the time to roll a 6. I don't roll a 6. It's weapon destroyed. I've made it utterly useless. That's it for turn 1 for the traitors, for the good guys. So an inoperable box back here, a snap-firing Arcus, but all the big guns running down the middle of the route's battle line are unaffected. This unit of troops come piling out of that rhino there, but they're very much combat effective as we go on to Sons of Rus, turn 1. In the movement phase, some aggressive movement down this side to get the speeder in multi-melter range of this Land Raider.
Yep.
And also pivoting and moving around this Land Raider to get some side shots into the Spartan. The Spartan and my Land Raider do have a bit of cover, a 6-up cover at this stage. Down this side, however, your Spartan with Horus in it has lost a track.
Yeah, Russ is, they try to drive over that, and yeah, they're stuck there now.
It's immobilised, so they're staying inside for now. It's immobilised, facing that direction for the rest of the game. And then you thought about moving the Arcuses, the Arcusai, the Sakaran, on 1 hull point remaining, but after that thing immobilised itself, you didn't want that thing to wreck itself. No. Maybe there's a claymore that has been hidden down there by the traitors. Down this side, some running forwards fast with this tank down it. Remember, all the tanks in this game score as well. So as you just pointed out to me in your movement phase, your Scorpius down here is it's scoring. It's scoring. I'm going to have to kill it if I want to get some... See, the way the game works is you've got to have some scoring units in a zone and no enemy units in a zone. So if I want to take your zone, I'm going to have to kill that Scorpius at some point. Maybe. But you could have come closer. Instead, a bit of a cautious start from the route. This Dreadnought isn't up there, he's below. We just stuck him there so you guys can see him, but he's below there. And in Heresy, you can only charge if you can see a unit, unlike 40k. So he's not charging anything this turn. But you do want to do a Psychic Power.
Yes.
So we're going to start with the Rune Caster dude.
Yep. And
a leadership test, which passes, and then he can give something within 6 inches, which is infantry, cavalry, or dreadnought, a 3-up shrouding. Are you giving a 3-up shrouding to Leviathan?
Yes.
I love it. There's a storm raging around the Leviathan. I can't see it. And now we go on to the shooting phase. Starting off the shooting phase with that Land Raider firing into the side armour of my Spartan, so I will be evading this.
Okay.
Okay.
So non-twin linked.
Yes, here's the sponsoons. 2 of them hit.
Twin linked.
The nose hit. So 3 hits come through. You need 5's glance, 6's pen with Sunder. And that's a glance. And that's a glance and a pen. I have a 6-up cover from the glance, a 6-up cover from the pen. And then we shroud the glance, which I make, and we shroud the pen. Which I don't make. So 1 penetrating hit goes through with a las cannon. A 6 will kill it. Don't roll a 6. It's a 1. It's a 1. So it shakes it, but it's got a reinforced hull, so it ignores the result. It still takes a hull point, however. Now we come down to the speeder, firing at this Land Raider. Starting off with the las cannons.
Yeah.
3s to hit. 1 of them hits.
5 to glance.
With Sunder.
Nope.
Nothing. And then the multi-melter, which hits, and 2d6 armor bane range at this range.
Plus 8 is 16.
That's a penetrating hit. I need a 6. There's some of the side front armor is obscured. I don't get it. AP1. A 5 will blow it. And that's a 5. That's a dead Land Raider. It blows up that far, hits my dudes. It kills one of them in the explosion. They're not pinned. And then 6 of my guys are inside. And we have 5 of them hit by the explosion. I need 2-up saves. None of them die in the explosion, and they could get pinned as well. Interestingly, their leadership 11 because of Horus. No. So I'm okay. Eidolon and his retinue get out there. Then we did some shots, snap firing with the Arcus in at this dreadnought, and nothing managed to wound. Now we're on to the Spartan. What is the Spartan shooting at?
Shooting this dreadnought here.
Shooting this dreadnought with everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
So 5 las cannons.
Yes.
Twin linked, luckily.
Yeah, because that was only 1 hit, and that is only 3 hits. These are wound on 2s though, and that is 2 wounds, and the multi-motor is in range as well, which hits and wounds on a 3. So 3 wounds into my dreadnought. 3 5 up and vulnerable saves. It takes 3 wounds. It's on 3 left. Then the Land Raider, right next to the Spartan, is targeting the same dreadnought.
3s.
Non-twin linked.
Twin linked.
In the nose. So that is 3 hits with the las cannon. It's only got 3 wounds remaining, and you wound it twice. So you're not going to kill it, but it is on 1 wound remaining. So the last thing they can actually fire is the dreadnought. Now the melters in its fists are out of range, but there is a dreadnought here on 1 wound remaining. And you've got Volkite nipple guns. Yeah. So those could kill it.
It's worth a go. It's
worth a go. I will get a 2-up save against this. It is twin linked. And it hits all the times, and it needs 5s to wound. Ooh. It wounds 5 times. That's pretty good, you know.
Pretty good.
But it's okay, I won't roll a 1. See, I don't roll a 1. I'm fine. And that is the end. The Sons of Horus.
Sons of Horus?
Sons of Horus. The Sons of Rus. The end of what are you guys called again? The bad guys. The despoilers of Prospero. The nut jobs that are just like,
Who come to kill another Primarch.
Who definitely don't use any warp magic whatsoever.
Never used it.
It's the end of their turn 1. The end of the Traitors' turn, and it looks very messy, and an order goes up from Horus Lupercal. I'm using his Master of War ability, which means in the Sons of the Rus's turn, I get 2 reactions in every single phase. And down this side, 1 unit of reserves came on, and on the other side, the other unit of reserves came on. These guys walking on next to the Land Raider, full of all the Palantan Blade Squad. And I could have pushed forward here, but there are 15 Terminators there and a Primarch. So I decided not to push forward. Instead, we reversed a little bit. Let's kill that Arquiter. That's a nasty gun on that thing. It's got on 1 hull point left. Let's kill it with a Land Raider. Let's try and crack open this Rhino over here. And then there's lots of infantry over here and 15 Terminators. But that's the plan down this flank. The tactical squad are pushing through the ruin here. We've all got chainswords. We come round to this side, and the Sons of the Rus, the rout, didn't take a step back. 20 versus 10. You're just jeering at them.
Yep.
Jeering at them. 2 dreadnoughts walking forward as they do, and then round on this flank. Well, you've immobilized your Spartan. So even if Horus and the boys get out, their charge this way, it's probably going to take more than a turn, probably. So I've moved my Spartan round this side. I've got out all the Justaran Terminators and Horus, and we want to charge down towards that Leviathan that's seen him coming and has taken a couple of steps back. And so have the squad in the backfield with the Rune Priest in as well. Is it called a Rune Priest?
Caster of Runes or something.
Caster of Runes back then. So there's some stepping back away from Horus on this flank. I need to push hard on this flank while I have the initiative on this flank. Talking about pushing hard on that flank, I've got out the Cacophony because they've got 36-inch range and lined them up very carefully so I could see through the ruin and shoot at that squad down there. But now they've stepped away. There's probably not very many of the Cacophony that could actually be able to see them. This is the squad that came running on, and round here is Eidolon and the remaining Terminators. We want to go in hot over here. We're going to start the shooting phase with these fellas shooting down at this pack down here. The Deflagrate from the Cacophony using their sonic weapons. Are you doing anything about this? 7 of them can see, so this is 21 shots. Decisions? I've got
no,
one.
You've got Spartan with lots of las cannons.
I've got Spartans with las cannons, yeah. I have to roll them all individually because they miss and that gets hot, and then an armor save, and 1 dies already, look. I rolled off camera. I killed 3 of my own guys.
Yeah.
3 with the Gets Hot weaponry, and I only hit 4 times.
That's a good roll.
These all wound on 2s. I wound twice. Wound twice.
3 up saves.
Nearly make the saves. Okay, I lose 3 of my guys. None of yours. And because you step back, you're outside of rapid fire range with this squad here. Moving down to the middle, my Contemptor Dreadnought is shooting at that Leviathan with a 3-up shrouding. It's not reacting. Here's the... This has got Armor Bane, the Gravis one, and it hits and it wounds. And the one that isn't in Armor Bane range hits and wounds. 5 up vulnerable saves, and then a 3-up shrouding.
Right.
Now the Spartan is going to shoot at the Land Raider. Do you want to evade this one?
Yes.
You do want to evade this one?
Yep.
Okay, let's do the multi-melter. It can only glance. It hits and doesn't glance. And there's 3 las cannons that can see because of the pivoting thing. The other one cannot shoot. Unfortunately, they're all twin linked. So they all hit. And I need 5s to glance, 6s to pen, with a bit of sundering going on here. And that is only 1 glancing hit.
Cover save?
Yeah, 6 up cover and a 5 up shroud. And nothing happens. My whole army hasn't done any damage yet. How about these 2 dreadnoughts here? I've lined them up so I am in range to shoot at that Land Raider. The most I can do though is take a hull point off of it. And I don't take a hull point off of it. Okay, we're on to this Land Raider. This las cannon shooting at that Rhino there, which will have cover. The other 3 las cannons trying to kill the Arkaka. Here's the ones into the Rhino. They all hit. 2s glance. 3's pen, so a glance and a pen.
Glance cover and pen cover. Nope.
No, so that's 2 hull points. Does this one blow up? No, it doesn't. That's a weapon destroyed as well.
And you got multi-motor.
Oh yeah, the multi-motor is in range. That hits. That wounds. Another cover save.
Nope.
Fail that. So it's going to die, but does it blow? It doesn't blow. They disembark. They fail their leadership test. They get pinned. And then one of them gets killed by the Sons of Horus squad moving on this flank here. So pinned. They're not going anywhere. Right. I forgot to fire the other 3 las cannons that are hitting your Arquitas. So we'll do that now. Here's the Sponsoon. One of them hits. Here's the front mounted. Okay, 2 hits come in. And Sunder. That is a glancing hit.
Can I make a cover save?
Can you? No. And I do wreck the Arquitas. Smoke rises from the Arquitas, then the Justaran squad fired in at the Leviathan that I want to charge, and it's got a 3-up shrouding, and nothing happened, and that's the end of my shooting phase. At least I've wrecked 3 vehicles. 2 of them happen to be Rhinos, but at least I've wrecked 3 vehicles and made the Scorpius inoperable. We have a charge now. Horus wants to charge that Leviathan, and I need a 5, and you're not reacting to this. And that's a 10. Then over here, the Emperor's Children want to charge this line, and this will be a 9-inch charge into this squad. And that's a 7, that's a failed charge, but we'll surge forward a 4. Last thing left to charge is Eidolon and these Terminators down here, and we want to charge the Speeder and that squad. Are you reacting over here?
I will overwatch you with the Speeder.
Great. Okay, you can do it all together, because it's 3 shots hitting on 3s, wounding on 2s.
Melter's twin length.
Oh yeah, it is. You're right.
So, las cannons.
1 hit.
Multi-melter.
2 hits. 2's to wound.
2s.
Both wound. Do you kill 2 Terminators on the way in? Yes, you do kill 2 Terminators on the way in. And a Snake Eyes would have been a failed charge because of cover. But we do get in there. And while the camera is facing here, we might as well start here. We'll start with Eidolon on the charge. He's initiative 6.
Yep. And
he's got a hammer, which is normally unwieldy. But when he charges, he fights at initiative. And he's hitting that squad on 3s. Drop dice don't count. So I'll re-roll the one that hit the floor, and it's mastercrafted. So he hits 3 times, and it's a hammer. It'll be killing on 2s. He only kills 1. And then the guys with the spears are just hitting the Speeder at initiative 6 because of reach +1. We're hitting on 3s, and it's strength 6 versus toughness 6. So wounding on 4s, and I just do 2 wounds to you. 2 wounds at AP3 to the Speeder. Now the Wolves get to fight back. We're doing it all together because it all hits and wounds together, the Speeder and the dudes, but you're hitting them on 6s. -1 to hit. Well, weapon skill 5 versus weapon skill 4.
Yep.
plus my Sonic Shriekers is another -1 to hit, and you're wounding me on 4s with the Shred. You do 2 wounds. I said do. And I make both of my saves, so I win. And you lost that combat by 2.
By 3.
By 3. So leadership test on the speeder. He breaks, and leadership test on the dude.
They're fine.
They're fine, which means I can't sweep the squad.
Speeder falls back 3d6?
It does fall back 3d6, yeah. And it breaks 8 inches. So while the speeder breaks, this squad hold firm. Brave little space puppies hanging in there with Eidolon and his Phoenix Guard Terminators. I love it. Right, we're coming across to the Leviathan Dreadnought. Now, all of my attacks, I'm going to swing with World Breaker because it's brutal 2 and unwieldy.
Yep.
So I'm fighting at initiative 1, so your Dreadnought gets to fight first.
5 attacks.
5 attacks, hitting on 4s.
4s.
And it hits 3 times, wounding on 2s. Wounds 3 times. Brutal 3.
Yep.
So on one of the dudes, he's dead. On another dude, he's dead. And the last dude, you kill 3 of them. So let's do Horus. 8 attacks on 3s with World Breaker, which is Master Crafted. It's Strength 10 Sunder. Sunder is re-roll against vehicles, and the Dreadnought isn't a vehicle, but it does wound on 2s. And at Brutal 2, that is 12 damage. And of course, you can't shroud this, so it's just 5 up and vulnerable saves.
That's a dead Leviathan.
Yeah, Horus one-shots a Leviathan, which blows up how far?
Hopefully quite far.
5 inches. It'll hit all my guys. It'll hit your tank and doesn't do anything to your tank. So there's 8 dudes still left in that squad,
6.
which will be wounded on 2s. And that's 7 wounds come through. Let's put 1 on Horus. He's fine. And then the Justaran, any 1s, and I lose another Justaran. And I lose 2 more Justaran. I've traded out 5 Justaran Terminators. They're 50 points each. It's 250 points for that Leviathan.
270.
270.
Fair trade.
At the end of that combat, Horus and the Justaran consolidate up to initiative in any direction. So we're zoning all the way along the back, and that's the end of Sons of Horus turn 2. There's still 5 Terminators inside that Land Raider, which is uninjured. How many of them have hammers?
All of them.
All of them. You've got 5 Terminators with 5 hammers.
Yes.
That's absolutely nasty. The speeder is breaking and is out of there. This combat is ongoing. You've got some reserves that might drop in on a 3, and I think you need to do a regroup test on that speeder as well. So are we doing reserves first?
Reserves first.
They're in.
And then the regroup. I regroup.
The speeder regroups. It will be snap firing, so hitting on 6s, but it's coming back into the fight, despite that there is a Primarch nearby. And there's a lot of pressure on this flank as well, as we go into the routes. Turn 2. While the fight continues down on this flank in the Space Wolves movement phase with Eidolon and this pack of Grey Slayers, this pack steps forward to take on Horus while the Varangir get out of the Land Raider. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be charging in at Horus. No doubt the infantry will eat the Overwatch and be ordered in first before this squad go flying in there. And when the Varangir hit, it's going to be nasty because 2 specialist weapons, that's a lot of attacks. But I do have 2 reactions in each phase. And talking about 2 reactions in each phase, a lot of hate came out of the middle as well. Layman Russ has hit the table with his big squad and the Speaker of the Dead. So both of the Dreadnoughts did movement phase reactions and step back to try and make that charge as long as possible. They're going to be charging through those tank traps as well, which will slow them down. In the middle, we're going to have some Dreadnought on Dreadnought action, and Frecky and Grecky want to attack the Tactical Marines on the other side of that ruin there. Down here, we're going to have a charge against this unit of Tactical Marines while this squad remain pinned. And then your Assault Marines came in and you had melter bombs on the Sergeant. And he wanted to drop them in here to attack the Land Raider and perhaps melt it to death, but there was a scatter. And they ended up right back in the middle of the Emperor's Children's lines. Had to take a pinning test on the Rapier Carrier crew. They're not pinned, but you've ended up there instead. Then we remembered the dangerous train test, and 2 of them landed on claymores or bits of rebar as they came dropping in and have died. Then we went on to the shooting phase. Start off with the land speeder over there, snap firing to Horus's squad. No damage caused. The snapfire shots go wild as it regroups, but the Land Raider is aiming all of its guns at Horus and the Juster. And of course, Primarchs are fearless, so I can't shroud this at all. He's just going to take some straight shots with las cannons to the face.
They all hit, and twin linked one.
Everything hits.
2s to wounds.
Yes. 5. Everything wounds. So I feel like a Horus is like, get down! Get behind me! And he has a 3-up in bun, and 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 a 3-up in bun. That one's really cocked. That one was okay. And he saw the shots coming. Doesn't take any damage. Down the street, we have Dreadnought on Dreadnought action. And my Dreadnought is going to return fire. Las cannons to the face, though. And one of them hits. And wounds. And the multi-melter hits. Armor Bane range. With the reroll. 2 wounds. 2 wounds on my Dreadnought. 2 5-up and vulnerable saves. It takes 2 wounds. It's going to return fire on your Dreadnought. Hitting you on 2s, wounding them on 3s, but with Armor Bane at this range is a reroll. I only do 1 wound to you. So 1 wound on you, 2 wounds on me. I feel like this fight is going to go on for some time. On to the immobilized Spartan, and you're spitting fire all over the place.
Yeah, because I'm immobilized, so I've got to shoot what I can see.
Yeah, so 1 gun hitting this Contemptor, the ones up the gut hitting that Contemptor, and the ones on the Sponsoon hitting this Rhino down here.
Yep.
I'm not reacting anywhere.
So we'll start with the Dreadnought.
Dreadnought on the right. Both of them hit. 2s to wound. Both of them wound. Can I make a save? I can't make a save. It's on 4 wounds remaining.
Then las cannon in the middle.
Yes.
Twin linked.
Hits. Wounds. Now, if I make this save, it's alive. That's pretty cocked. I don't make the save, it's dead, and it blows up that far. We'll figure out. I don't think that's going to hit anyone, but you've got your first Dreadnought death, and then into Rhino. Both of them hit. 2's glance. Both of them pen. There's lots of intervening stuff, so 6s. Negative. 2 penetrating hits on that empty Rhino. The vehicle score, you're shaking it. It will be able to move, but it'll only be snap firing next turn. At least you killed the Dreadnought with the Spartan. Now Russ is in range to shoot at this Contemptor, and he hits all the times. You need 6s to rend now.
Nope.
Doesn't rend. And I think the remaining guns, we've got this squad that can shoot at the infantry if it wants to before it charges in, and this Land Raider. What is this Land Raider doing?
So put it in the side of the Spartan.
Okay, that's Spartan. That's a lot of las cannons. I'm going to shroud that. Let's shroud it.
So non-twin linked.
Non-twin linked. 2 hits.
Twin linked. 3 hits.
Okay. 5's glance. 6's pen with Sunder. Nothing so far. With the reroll. Nothing. It pops smoke and the shots miss. Last thing left to fire are all these Grey Slayers here, firing 20 bolt pistols at these Emperor's children. And they're going to hit on that, on 3s.
And they're going to wound on 4s.
Well, let's do a couple on Artificer Armor on the start. Oh, he's dead. He's dead, and only he dies. At the end of the shooting phase, I don't have any morale to do anywhere, so we're charging here. Grey Slayers into 9 Tactical Marines. Don't roll Snake up. Well, that's a 2-inch charge because of cover, but that'll be enough to get you in, but not many will get in. I'm not overwatching or bracing here, though, because I'm saving my reactions for further down the battle grid. In the middle, Russ wants to try and charge this Dreadnought. You need Stupid Far. That's not Stupid Far, but that is a 4-inch surge. Moving down the line, we have Dreadnought on Dreadnought action. My Dreadnought is definitely overwatching you on the way in, hitting on 2s and wounding on 3s, and everything wounds. Can I take a few more hard points off? I can. I take 2 off. So you're down to 3. I'm on 4. Then it charges in, and that's a successful charge. And then is the Grey Slayer squad here going to eat the Overwatch?
It is.
Well, I might as well Overwatch. I've got 2 multi-melters, and they're twin linked. They both hit, and they both wound.
6 up invulnerables.
Oh yeah, you got those shields. I killed 2 of them. 3 dudes with Bane Strike bolters. That's really cocked, and they're twin linked. And these are strength 5, but they breach on 6s. So that's 3 normal saves and 3 invulnerable saves. 2 invulnerable saves.
3 normal saves.
Yes.
And 2 6-ups.
Oh, brilliant. That's good. And then let's fire the Talon on the Horus. Let's find out what it does. It hits on 2s. It's twin linked. It's strength 5, AP 3, 2 6-up saves. I'm not going to place them anywhere because if I put it on the Sergeant or your Rune Priest guy, they've all got Artificer. So it probably wouldn't have killed any. But instead, Horus does manage to take 2 out. And then you charge. And you charge 5. Then the Varangir charge in, and it looks like this. Orders issued and challenged. Oh, 1 minute. We've got one more fight. The Wolves trying to go through cover and hit this squad of Emperor's Children behind. They're going 5, plus 1 is 6 because they move so far. Yep, and they'll get in as well. I've put them up here because moving models around and sticking them underneath is complicated, but they are in base. Right, back down here. Varangir have Hammer of Wrath too.
Yes.
So this is 10 impact hits at initiative 10 before anything else happens. On 4s. And they managed to get 5 in there?
Yeah.
5, 2 up saves. And injure 1 on the way in. And then challenges issued. Who's issuing challenges?
My caster of runes, the Rune Priest, is going to step up to Horus Lupercal.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to issue a challenge to the Just Hair and Horus.
I charge you.
Yes.
Use traitorous dogs.
He's going to use the powers of Fenris.
Well, Primarchs always have to accept challenges.
Yep.
So Horus will happily accept his challenge and kill him 10 times over.
Yep.
And I'll swing it initiative low. So you get all your guys attacking first, because then I'm swinging it initiative low, and then you're swinging it initiative low with your hammers.
Yes.
Caster of Runes. It has a force weapon, a force sword. So first, pass the leadership test, which you do. That doubles your strength up to strength 8, and then he's going to hit Horus on 5s. And he hits him once. He lands a blow. Wounds on a 3. Strength 8, toughness 7. He wounds. Wounds Horus. I'm going to get a 2-up save for this. And he's good. He's okay. Just. And then we have all your guys with these Fenrisian axes, which gets you up to strength 5.
Strength 6 because of Russ.
Oh, yeah. So you're winning on 2s. Many attacks. My weapon skill is much higher, though. So 5s to hit with all these Fenrisian axes. And that looks okay for hitting on 5s. And then winning on 2s. That doesn't look okay. Terminator plate. One of them is injured. One of them may fall. Killing a Just Darren, that'd be epic. It's not epic. We're going to continue with the Space Wolves. We've got the Varangir hitting my Terminators, which are hitting your Terminators at the same time, but you're hitting on 3s.
Weapon skill 6 on a charge.
Yeah. And that's nasty. +1 strength with Horus, -1 strength with... Sorry, +1 strength with Russ, -1 strength because it's basically 2s to wound. And these will double out the Just Darren. Right, this many get through. They're brutal 2. I've got 5. So 1's dead. 2's dead. 2 is dead. 2 is dead. 3 is dead. Still many to go. 4 is dead. Last one before we start putting them on Horus. Dead. And then Horus has got to make 10 3-up saves because attacks fall in to a challenge. And Horus takes 2 wounds. But at the same time I hit the Varangir back, here's just the power axes which hit you on 5s and wound you on 3s. That's 1 wound at AP2.
Take a wound.
Take a wound. And then the hammers which hit on 5s. And that's pretty good. And wound them on 2s. And that is 6 wounds. All of them are brutal too. First guy. Dead. Second guy. Dead. Third guy. Dead. Fourth guy is alive. Fourth guy again. And then one more after this. Dead. And then the last guy.
Can he survive?
No, that's cocked. Reroll that one. The last guy can. The last guy can. So it looks like this before Horus hits your dude.
Yep.
Horus hits your dude on 3s with the reroll. Wounding strength 10. Okay, so 10 5-up invulnerable saves for his. Just roll them. Because he's dead. He's dead. The room guy is dead. Right, at the end of all of that, it looks like this. You've got one Varangier Terminator left that tried to consolidate in and is out of combat. Because he was all the way over there. So he stood there slaughtering his way through the Justair. And mind you, that Justair squad is 600 and something points.
Yeah.
So that was well done. However, even though I did less wounds, the wounds from the challenge pile up.
Yeah.
And we did all the saves. And basically, this squad of dudes needs to make Snake Eyes to hold against Horus. And no, they definitely fail morale. And we have an initiative roll-off. And I add a lot to this.
Ooh.
And you're on 10.
10.
What's Horus's initiative?
6.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. That means I don't sweep you. You pass your initiative test. Is there a Vexilla in there? So you fall back 1d6 inches. So they fall back 5 inches and somehow, some way, survive that assault with War Master Horus. They'll have a tale to tell when they get back to the campfire. Only Horus is a bit angry and he's charging after them. Right, we'll come over here while the camera is facing here. We have Eidolon and my guys facing your guys. I'm at initiative 5 with those reach spears into this squad. Hitting the Grey Stalkers on 3s, only 2 hits. And strength 6. 2 wounds at AP 3.
Kills 2 of them.
I killed 2 of them. Okay. Then we're down to initiative 4. I'll do the guy with the spear and the banner. He hits once. And instant deaths one of them. That's the third one. Because that's what Phoenix weapons do. They rend an instant death on 6s.
Yeah.
And then before Eidolon strikes, because now he's not charged, he's at initiative 1, you get to strike out. And hit the Phoenix Blade on 5s this time, not 6s. Because the Sonic Shriekers have worn off. Wounding them. Got the last encounter. Wounding on 4s. Wow, 4 6s. It looks like I should definitely fail one of these. I don't fail any of these. And then Eidolon swings his Mastercrafted Hammer, which is Mastercrafted, and will kill on 2s. And he kills 2 more of them. So you lost that combat by 5. And I forgot last time, they count as +1 for combat resolution, living icons. So it counts as a -6 to your leadership.
So I need a Snake Eyes.
Which you don't get. So another initiative roll off. 5 + 2 is... Okay, you fall back successfully again. Is there a Vexilla in that squad?
No Vexilla.
2d6, fall back. You fall back 5 inches. So even though I didn't sweep both of the Space Wolf squads down here, at least they were successful for the Traitors. But let's turn that frown upside down for the Loyalists, because we have combats here with Frecky and Gary into my tactical squad. This will go badly for me. Frecky first, initiative 5. All of my characters in the 3rd Legion company thing have to take the augments. So normally you'd be hitting them on 3s, but you can hit them on 4s in first round of combat.
So 4s.
Extra attacks here because Frecky has got a rampage.
That's really cocked.
Yes. That's still really good hitting.
And then
strength 5.
So 2s, because I get +1.
Okay.
So 5, just AP 4.
Right. And
then
Gary.
It is 6 attacks with Gary.
Okay.
On 4s.
Yes.
Even though his weapon skill 7.
Right.
And then 2s again. So you got 1 breaching.
1 breach, and these are AP 4.
AP 4.
So 1's dead and 2 die in total. I fight back, only 5 are in range. I hit you once.
Toughness 5.
Don't wound you. I lost that combat by 2. And I break. 1 minute. I rolled a 9.
Yep.
And it's normally leadership 8 for a tactical squad, but leadership 9 because of Horus. Stubborn. So we actually hold, we lock up, we pile in. And that fight is ongoing. That was fight number 3. On to fight number 4. Dreadnought on Dreadnought action in the middle of the battle grid.
My weapon skill 6.
Okay, so you hit me on 3s. Everything hits. Wounding on 2s. Actually, wounding on 3s because of Sons of Horus.
Yes, so 2 wounds, but they're brutal 3.
Okay, I've got 4 wounds remaining. I need at least 3 fights here to stay alive. And that's not enough. That is a dead Dreadnought. I hit you back on 5s. That one's really cocked. I hit you once. Wound you on a 2. That's a wound. So brutal 3.
I need to make one of these to survive.
Just 1.
No.
No?
Mutual
That is
destruction.
mutually assured Dreadnought destruction. The spine will get hit twice, and on 6s it will take a hull point. No hull points. With mutually assured dreadnought destruction, all the ancients have been wiped out now, except this lone Emperor's Children dreadnought over here, staring at Leman Russ on 4 wounds remaining. And believe me, he doesn't want to go charging in to Leman Russ. Leman Russ will fight first and rip him limb from limb. We have the assault squad hitting my carriage, my rapier carriage now. Here's the power sword on the sergeant.
On 4s.
And it hits once.
Wounds on a 4 because I get plus my strength.
Yep. That's a wound.
No?
Yeah, it's definitely a wound at AP3. It will kill one of them, then we'll do all the other attacks. I'm going to hit you back at the same time, though. We rounded out that combat. You've wiped out the rapier squad. They are gone, but there are only 7 assault marines remaining there. At least they're in cover. And then we come around here to the Grey Slayers that only charge 2 inches. But the thing is, they're going to pile in and they've got skirmish. So their coherency counts as 3 inches. Basically 3 ranks deep for the fight. So they should all be able to fight. So let's do the chainswords hitting the space walls. I paid for chainswords, so I've got extra attack. Sergeant is dead. And I'm hitting you on 4s. That -1 to hit thing is for you. It doesn't benefit me hitting you back. Shriekers of the Sonic variety. Chainswords of Shred. So they get to reroll. And that many wins at AP dash.
3 ups.
Wow.
But Apothecary.
Oh, Apothecary. Oh, yes. Apothecary.
5 ups.
Only take out 2. So the Space Wolves pile in. Turns out many of them can fight. This is 54 attacks back again. And this is half the number of attacks. But you are hitting me on 5s because of Sonic Shriekers. And that's
3
bad.
hits.
Only 3. Winning on 2s though.
3.
3 wins so far.
AP dash.
And the next round on 5s. And that's a bit better. And 2s. So you lost 2 so far. There is a world in which you lose this if I make all my saves.
There is.
No, I lose 2, you lose 2. It's a draw?
Yep.
How did that happen?
Not a clue.
I think that's Sonic Shriekers in action for this round of combat. Next round of combat, you're going to go right through them like a hot space wolf through butter. And with that fight ongoing, that's the end of turn 2, and what a turn. All the reserves are deployed on the table. Blood is flowing. Chainswords are revving. This one's ongoing. I've still got Palatine Blades with my Chaplain and an Apothecary in here, which could move round and help relieve some of these combats here. But if I do that and get them out, and I feel like I need to, there's Leman Russ with his big squad of Tartarus Terminators, and there's still 5 Varangir Terminators tucked inside that Land Raider over there. Here we are at the end of the Traitors movement phase. Operation Stay Away from Leman Russ is in effect. As long as I can keep him out of the fights, for as long as it will be a good thing. So there's a large traitor-free circle in the middle here. The Dreadnought is going nowhere near him. It came back round this way, so the Assault Marines reacted and stepped this way. You have 2 reactions in your movement phase as well, because of the Russ. So after reacting here with the Assault Marines, when the Palatine Blade squad of my Chaplain got out here, you reacted back with this unit that were pinned last turn. I could charge into the Grey Slayer squad, but that would take me closer to Russ. So I'm not sure if I want to do that. So there is a bow wave effect going on around this corner. Round here, the Cacophony can go shooting into the assault squad. This Rhino's trying to stay safe. And over here, Eidolon and the last of the Palatine Blades, the last of the Phoenix Blade Terminators are going to try and go for round 2. We tried to kill them turn 1. We'll try and kill them also in turn 2. And Horus needs to try and sweep up that squad that are running away from him. We started the shooting phase with Horus, who sniped out one of the Grey Slayers. Then we came onto this flank with the Tactical Marines, and Eidolon pulled out his pistol and killed 2 in the squad of Grey Slayers. Yep. So it's just the Sergeant left and 1 more dude stood there. So that's the small arms on this flank. Now, for one more time, let's do the Cacophony, getting hot weaponry, firing at your Assault Marines. I wonder how many kill themselves this time. I mean, they hit on 3s. They hit on 3s. They hit on 3s. This is much better than last time already. There's a gets hot. Look, there's a gets hot. And he's dead. Let's keep going off camera. All right, did the rest. This time I only killed 1 of my own guys. 2s to wound. 3 up saves. Lots of them. Ooh. How many die? Because we've got deflagrate as well.
5, and you get 5 more deflagrate.
Okay, it continues to burn. And 4 more wounds come through.
Kill 6. Just the sergeant left.
And it's a pinning test at -1 because of shell shock 1. And the sergeant is pinned. Well, it's the only thing the dreadnought can see, so the dreadnought shoots him twice. Wounds him twice. 2 5-up ruin saves. And he ducks and covers and gets melted to slag. Then I did small arms down on this flank here, shooting into the squad that reacted to step back away from the Palatine Blades and only killed 1. So now we're coming on to Land Raider. Operation Kill as many Terminators as possible is in effect. The Land Raider's firing its multi-melter, the front thing and this thing all at them. And the right sponsoon is going to shoot at the Scorpius in the backfield, even though it's completely useless. I want it dead.
Still scoring.
Are you reacting to... Oh no, you're fearless.
Fearless, can't.
Okay. What's going on outside? It stopped. Okay. This is into Scorpius. Hits. Penetrates it. You've got a 6-up. I can see some of the hull. No, it's dead. Does it blow? It doesn't blow. I just wreck it. And then we'll do the guns into them. Here's the multi-melter and the twin link. These are the twin link weapons. Here's the non-twin link weapons. And 3 hit in total. 2's to wound. 2 wounds into your Terminator squad.
Yep, 5 up invulnerables. Kill 2.
Then to the Spartan. It moved over 6 inches, so it's firing one of its guns at full ballistic skill, the rest are snap firing. And what I'm going to do is the one at full ballistic skill is going to kill that Vangear there. Because he's got a hammer, he's very scary. The snap firing ones are going to come into Russ, okay? So here's the 3 snap firing las cannons, which need 6s to hit and wounds on a 2. And here's the multi-melter, which hits and wounds into your Terminator squad. Actually, the multi-melter misses because of the snap fire. Just one of them hit. One of them hit.
5 up in 1.
And you make it. They're fine. They duck and cover. Now, these are at full ballistic skill into your firing gear, which are twin linked, and wound on a... Not that. He's fine. He's fine. I think that's the end of my shooting phase. That is the end of my shooting phase. With some leadership tests to make.
Yeah.
To the squad that Eidolon shot at. And they hold. And then we have some charge phases coming on. Chargey things coming on. Do my dudes want to charge into your dudes? We're going to stay there. We're going to stay there. Nothing for the Dreadnought to charge. Eidolon squad is going to charge the Speeder and those 2 guys again.
Overwatch.
Overwatching again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Land Speeder.
Land Speeder.
2 lance cannons.
Both of them hit.
And 2s.
Both of them wound.
And then the multi-melter.
Which is twin linked. Hits.
Wins.
There's 3 Terminators left, right?
Correct.
3 5-up invulnerable saves.
Oh my god.
And only Eidolon is left standing. And then Horus charges the Grey Slayers and makes the charge. Dude, that Javelin's done work.
A lot of work.
105 points for Laz and the multi-melter.
Yep.
Brilliant loadout. Best, I think it's one of the most undercosted things in the game. I like them. So I got 6 for the Raven Guard. What I'm going to do is kill this squad because the wounds will... It's mastercrafted. What I mean is when you take morale, I'm likely to sweep you. I've killed that squad. That squad are dead. And then you've got 3 attacks with your chainswords back again into Eidolon.
Hitting on 6s because of this special thing.
The Sonic Shriekers. You hit once. You've got Shred. You wound him. You wound Eidolon. I don't like Eidolon, by the way. I don't mind if he's wounded.
No.
He's not wounded. He lost that combat by 2.
Leadership check.
Yep.
Fail it.
Okay, initiative roll off. Can I sweep someone? I finally sweep someone. We sweep the Speeder. Eidolon will move 5 inches over here somewhere. And then we're on to Horus. And this time, he'll use the Talon of Horus. He hits on 2s. And he misses twice. But this wounds on 2s with Shred. And those are all AP2. So you've got 6 shield saves. 4 of them. And it's got Deflagrate. So... that's 4 more saves. I kill 7 in total. 3 guys left, but we counter-attack 1. This is a lot of attacks.
but 6s.
Yeah, it is. Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Okay, Snake Eyes for the leadership then.
No.
Negative. And then initiative roll off. 1 + 4 is 5.
You've got me.
I've rolled a 10 in total. I sweep the squad. Horus and Eidolon consolidating down in this corner of the battlefield, looking at an uninjured Land Raider. I'm looking at that Varangier Terminator as well, wondering whether he's going to go in against Horus. Horus has an It Will Not Die, and he gets a wound back. He's back up to 6 wounds remaining. Primarchs heal. Heal quickly. And then we did the fight over here, and I lost by a lot. However, I've still got 2 Emperor's Children remaining in this big mosh pit down here, and because of Horus, I'm stubborn. They're hanging in there. And you're still locked up. So now we go on to Space Wars turn 3. No, 1 minute. We've got to do the fight with the doggos and these guys as well. We'll do that. Right, we did a lot of rolling off camera. We're not dead. We're not there yet. You killed one of mine. I've put 1 wound on yours.
Yep.
And then my sergeant hit you with his Phoenix Power Rapier. And 2 of them hit.
Yep.
And the reason why I've paused for this is because Phoenix Power Rapiers are like Phoenix Power. They're power swords, but on 6s they do instant death. Ooh. So I'm going to roll a wound. And I don't think Bart and Homer are Eternal Warriors, because Eternal Warriors is really rare in this edition. But on 6s, I'll actually kill a doggy. I don't kill a doggy. I don't kill them. I win that combat by 1, but Brad and Angelina are fearless. So that combat is locked up. Now we're on to Space Wars, turn 3. Down this side of the battle grid, the last of the Varangier over here is aiming straight for Eidolon, who's standing there shouting at him defiantly. Meanwhile, in the middle, Russ and the Terminators came down this way to charge towards the Spartan, no doubt trying to use it as a slingshot to get closer to Horus.
Yes, anything to get to Horus, because that's what we're here for.
So Horus, I just think narratively, he's calling you back here now. He's called the Spartan back because he wants to jump in it. So then he can move somewhere. So I did react and pull away down there. Freki and Greki are still in close combat. They're over here. These guys responded. There's a couple of melter guns looking right at my squad here. And even though there's an apothecary, it's not going to help me to melter fire. I did kill the Scorpius is gone. The thing is, there's still 5 Terminators inside that Land Raider.
There is, yeah.
Still 5 Terminators inside that Land Raider. I wonder what they're scared of. Let's go on to the shooting phase. Where do you want to start shooting?
We'll start by lighting up the Warmaster.
We're going to light up the Warmaster. Point blank range into the Warmaster with your las cannons.
And the twin linked one.
We have 2 hits so far. We have 3 hits. Wounding the Warmaster on 2s. You wound him twice. Is a 3-up and vulnerable save. He takes a wound and he turns his gaze towards you. You've made him angry. Where we go next?
We are gonna. So it's a mobilised Spartan, unfortunately.
Yes.
So there is, now that you've reacted back.
Yes.
There's a nice window in there. So I'm going to shoot the twin link las cannon and the melter.
Yes.
Into the Spartan.
Okay. You can go for it. It's fine. It's fine.
So, las cannon.
Yes. Both of them hit. 1 glance, 1 pen.
You get cover, and I'd say a 5-up cover with that.
Okay. Well, you're shooting the side armour. I always roll the glance first. So the pen goes through. And it shakes it. Takes a hull point off. And then the multi-melter might be able to take another hull point off. It hits. And it doesn't. After the Spartan fired, we have the healthy Land Raider firing at my healthy Land Raider. So this one is going to evade. Here are the 4 las cannons on the spontoons, which are not twin linked, and the one in the nose, which is twin linked. And we have 2 hits. 5's glance, 6's pen. With Sunder. That's a glance and a pen. Cover save on the glance, cover save on the pen. And then shroud on the glance, shroud on the pen. Okay, 1 glancing hit goes through, and there's a multi-melter on that as well, is there?
No multi-melter.
Okay.
Just what they're modelled with.
Takes a hull point. It's down to 4 remaining. Then over here we've got 2 melters and loads of bolt guns coming into my Palatine Blade squad. Melters hit on 3s. Both of them hit or kill on 2s. Nothing I can do about that. Then bolter fire. Hitting on 3s. And this is the squad of Grey Slayers, Grey Stalkers. They can rapid fire and charge as well if they wanted to. I wouldn't recommend charging in to that squad. That is 3 wounds. Palatine Blades have a 2-up save. And there's an apothecary in there. So we're good. That is the end of the shooting phase. No morale test to take. Are you going to charge over here?
I'm not.
You're not going to charge.
I'm going to hold my ground.
There is a whole unit of Palatines. You want to charge the Spartan?
Yep, we'll go for it.
Okay, it's a long charge.
That's not going to do it.
No.
Surge 3 inches.
5 is 3 inches with terrain 1 inch.
Yeah.
So they'll shuffle forward a bit. Over here?
And we'll go over here.
Right, I'm going to do the Emperor's Children once per battle reaction. So what that means is you roll for charge and I roll for charge, and if I beat your charge, I charge you instead.
Yep.
Okay? Let's see what you get. You roll a 5. Eidolon rolls a 6. Eidolon makes the charge. Dangerous train test on the way in, he's fine. Hammer of Wrath on the way in, that doesn't work. And then he strikes at higher initiative, because you're unwieldy.
And I'm only weapon skill 5 now, because you charged me.
And he's initiative 6 right now.
Yeah.
And weapon skill 6. So I'm hitting that Varangier on 3s with a reroll because it's master crafted. And it is strength 8 and brutal 2. So mini 4+ and vulnerable saves.
I believe.
He's dead.
He's very dead.
Well done, Eidolon. He's my favourite character, you know. Definitely out of the whole of the Horus Heresy. Let's consolidate a little bit. Continuing with the fight phase, there was 2 last Emperor's Children with this big swarm of Grey Slayers. You finally took them out. He didn't die. And broke free from that combat and stepped away from the Palatine Blades, stepping backwards a little bit. Then over here, we did the attacks with Freki and Greki, and he killed one of my guys. I've done all of my attacks back and haven't wounded you yet, except for my Phoenix Blade Sergeant, which hits on 5s, and he hits twice again, look. Yes. And will instant death on 6s. It doesn't instant death, but that is AP3.
Take a wind.
Okay, so that combat is a draw. For some reason, we keep being locked up, and I think Horus making them stubborn and increased leadership has no small part to do.
Definitely.
So one's down to 1 wound remaining. That fight continues, and we go on to Sons of Horus, turn 4. It's turn 4 in this tide of carnage, and the carnage continues at 5,000 points with killed. So much each. And Tide of Carnage is all about having scoring units in each zone, which is why my Rhino is down in this corner. And while this Sons of Horus are trying to run to try and get up in the opponent's deployment zone, which they can do in turn 5, unless they get shot at and fall back somewhere, which means it'll stop you scoring in your zone at least. So thinking about the next turn, Horus got shot at by this Land Raider, so he's going to teach his Land Raider a lesson. Yep. Let's crack it open with World Breaker. In the middle, the Dreadnought came round to put some melter shots into your Land Raider, and you did your once per battle Space Wolf reaction, which is...
if you move within 12, I can move my initiative, then charge you.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd do that as I've been stuck in that difficult ground most of the game, and you've been running away from me.
And Horus is initiative 7 or something.
Russ is initiative 7.
Russ is initiative 7, and then you rolled a 10 on your charge.
Yeah.
So the Dreadnought came busting through the wall there and has suddenly been charged by Primarch and loads of Terminators.
Yeah.
Which at least stops your Terminators getting shot at.
Yes.
Because I was lining it up with a load of guns. I forgot to move my Spartan actually. Would move the Spartan a little bit. I moved my Spartan so I can shoot everything at the Land Raider. This Land Raider, which is empty, move forward. Multi-melter range of your Land Raider. Maybe I can crack that open. There's still 5 Terminators inside of it. And then round here, this unit stays still. Because Fury of the Legion is the thing. And I want to fire twice because my Palatine Blade Squad moved forward. And you reacted here as well to try and get closer to them. Not with this unit here. You feel like they're going to make the charge anyway.
They're going to make the charge anyway, yeah.
Okay. So I'm hoping to have some scoring units down here, some scoring units in the middle, and some scoring units in your zone. And then no one will score any zones, depending on what happens in your turn 4 and turn 5. It'll all come down to killing more and whether the Primarchs are dead. And the Primarchs are a long way away. Yeah. And all throughout this game, you've been saying, why is Horus in the corner? Come and Horus.
Come fight me.
I told you, like, after he cracks open that Land Raider,
yeah,
I'll come back for you. Okay?
Okay.
And then if you kill the Contemptor, you can consolidate 7 inches at the end of your movement phase and then go down towards Horus, and we'll have a Horus and we'll have a Primarch off.
Yes.
Our Primarchs need to get together. So first, an Eidolon jumped up and over. He wants to relieve this scoring unit here that are still locked up with Freki and Greki. So we'll do some shots. We'll start off with this Land Raider firing all of its guns at your Land Raider.
I shall shroud this.
You shall shroud. Here's the multi-melter, which is twin-linked. And it misses anyway. Here's the 4 las cannons on the sponsoons, and one of those only hit. And here's the one in the nose. Okay, only 2 hits. With Sunder. 1 glance, 1 pen.
So the glance shroud, and then the pen shroud. So just take a whole point. So
let's shoot it with the Spartan then. Let's try and crack it open. Here's the multi-misser. Hits this time. And doesn't do anything. And then the 5 twin-linked las cannons, because Spartans are better. They all hit. Drop dice don't count. With a bit of Sunder. Okay, only 2 glancing hits. I can't see any of the rear armour, so you have 2 full 5-up saves against that. I'm shooting the side here.
No, take 2.
Okay, it's down to 2 whole points remaining. The Cacophony can't shoot or see anything. We've got, bolt of fire over here into your slaughtery back here. I stood still, so mini shots, which wound on 4s, and 3-up saves. And I take 3 of them out.
And the feel no pain.
Oh yeah.
Do you take 3 out?
I do take 3 of them out. You see, my Primarch is better than your Primarch because he can chug more beer. He's a definite beer chugger.
I think Russ has got them on that. I think the Russ beat the Emperor on that.
What, shotgun and beer?
I think they did have a drinking and eating off, and Russ beat the Emperor.
Did he?
Yeah.
This is the Palatine Blade squad into the squad that we want to charge here. Yeah, but he's more of a spirits kind of guy. Like you're chugging the beer.
Oh, definitely the beer.
Horus is drinking fine wine and things like that. 4 wounds.
Gin and tonic.
4 gin and tonic with a nice spritz of lemon in the summertime. That's definitely what he likes. 2 in that squad. That is the end of my shooting phase. They're going to have to take a leadership test. Please don't fail the leadership test because I don't want you falling back. No. You don't fail the leadership test because that unit is going to charge.
I shall overwatch this.
That unit charges. Horus will charge the Land Raider over there. And I charge the Land Raider over there. This combat is ongoing. And then I don't know what's going on outside. Please ignore that. Here's Eidolon. And Eidolon makes the charge. Dangerous terrain test. 4-up and run. He's okay. You know the kid with the scooter zooming up and down his thing. Clearly his scooter's broken.
Yeah.
He's been revving it a bit too much. Okay, so that's the end of the charges. Let's start here with Eidolon, because this is where I'm stood at the moment. He's initiative 6 on the charge with a non-unwieldy hammer when he charges in. And I'm hitting you on 3s, and it's master crafted. He's weapon skill 6.
I'm weapon skill 5 or 7, so because of that you have to hit against 7.
Oh yeah, so only 1 hit. It wounds at AP -2, brutal 2. 2 feel no pains?
2 feel no pains. You kill a wolf.
One of the doggos is gone. So Gimli is dead. Legolas gets to fight back. He's fighting the squad that he's been fighting all this time. Hitting on 3s, hits 4 times. Wounding on 3s, 6 is breach. That's 3 wounds at AP 4. I get saves. I make all the saves. Then the 4 tactical marines remaining strike back on 5s. Hit twice. Wound once. No.
And feel no pain. No, take a wound.
And now the sergeant, one more time with his Phoenix Rapier. He hits all the times.
Uh-oh.
I just need 1 more 6 to instant kill this doggo. No. But I did win the combat, but we're locked up. Thatcher or Reagan, whichever one. They're fearless. We'll come around here to Horus versus a tank.
Yep.
It's a tank, so I hit it on 2s. Master crafted. Now, the armor of that tank is 14, but World Breaker is strength 10. So 4s, and it's got Sunder. Takes 3 hull points off of it.
Yep.
So it's on 2 remaining, unless I blow it up on a 6. AP2. Horus doesn't blow it up. But what it does do is 3 hull points. It immobilizes it. And when you get an immobilized on an immobilized, it counts as an extra hull point. Then over here, initiative 6 on the charge, Emperor's Children Chaplain. And he'll hit your Grey Stalkers on 3s, and he's a chaplain. He gets the re-roll and a mastercrafted mace. Wounds on 2s, and that's 5 wounds at AP3. Well, there was 1 left in that unit after the chaplain swung, but then all of my guys are initiative 5 on the charge.
Yep.
Kill them utterly, and we're stood there staring at this other troop slot. Now, that's all of my charging stuff, but there is 1 more charging unit that happened. Leman Russ went into a dreadnought. What was that?
More Wolfsbane stuff.
Yeah.
I like my Space Wolves.
Yeah.
There's a bit where he's practicing to fight Horus.
Right.
And they've got the cages and everything. And
Yeah.
he turns it all off, like, all to the most deadly mode.
Yeah.
And basically, it's either a Contempt or a Leviathan Dreadnought.
Yeah.
And to challenge himself, he decides to fight it without power weapons and armour.
Right.
And he's winning the fight. He's overpowering the Dreadnought, and then Malkador comes in and turns it all off. But he's beating up a Dreadnought with his bare hands, so with his sword, shouldn't be an issue, right?
No, but you see, I also know that chapter.
Yeah.
But it was a really teeny tiny dreadnought. It was only a foot tall.
I think it was.
It was a baby Leviathan dreadnought that Perturabo made, and it was just kicking it around. It wasn't. Yeah.
Maybe.
And anyway, how irresponsible is that? Taking on a Leviathan dreadnought, even 1 foot tall, with your bare hands? That's irresponsible. This dreadnought's going to live. This dreadnought's definitely going to live. What's your weapon skill?
I'm only weapon skill 9.
Right.
So I'm only hitting you on 3s.
Okay.
And it's mastercrafted.
Is it?
Oh, get that one out.
What one was that?
3. And then... Oh, they
so,
all hit.
Right, okay.
And on the charge, I get +1 strength, so I'm strength 9.
I'm toughness 7.
2s. And any of these 4 pluses,
yes.
brutal 2,
yeah.
But these are murderous strikes. So if you fail any of these brutals,
yeah,
it'll be D3 wounds on your dreadnought.
So I've got to take these like that.
Yeah.
5 up saves, and then they're D3 each.
Yeah, and then you'd have 8 more saves after
and then
that.
8 more saves of brutal 2.
Oh, he's very dead.
So that is 6 wounds that come through.
Plus...
Oh, the dreadnought's got 28 wounds.
Plus
6.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 wounds.
19 wounds. Well, the dreadnought's still got 9 wounds. No, okay, the dreadnought's dead.
Very dead.
19 wounds on a dreadnought before it gets to swing. That is crazy. The dreadnought blows up 3 inches. Hits a chunk of your guys, wounds 4 of them. So 4 2-up saves.
2-ups.
And fine. None of them die in the explosion. And then you can consolidate 7 inches in any direction. The Primarch of the Space Wolf consolidates straight up towards the street, letting out a howl of frustration. He's finally managed to take down a traitor. And he wants to take down 1 more. He can smell, he can sense. Horus Lupercal himself stood down here as he's charging down towards him in Space Wolves turn 4. In the Space Wolves movement phase, a howl goes up from Leman Russ. What does this howl do?
It's the Right War, the Bloody Claw.
Yes.
Basically, everything is Fleet 2.
Right.
And it gets Furious Charge 1.
Okay.
And it has to charge the closest thing that's eligible.
Charge the closest thing that's eligible. And even though these guys heard the howl and saw the Palatine blade here, they've drawn themselves towards the direction of the howl, which is that way. They're all below again, but we've put them there because it's really fiddly getting miniatures out from underneath the thing. But that's where they all are, moving away from the Palatine Blade squad. Your Land Raider came forward, and my Land Raider reacted by coming forward. And then finally, these Terminators are out on the battle grid with all those hammers, and they want to ring the dinner bell on the side of that Land Raider. And here is Leman Russ, making his way down towards the central street. And he's going to be charging the Spartan this turn because I reacted over here. And that means slingshotting closer to Horus, which will make turn 5 very interesting as we go on to the shooting phase. We're going to start the shooting phase here, though. Land Raider on Land Raider action 1 more time. I don't think there's any point in shrouding this because you're going to charge it anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to shroud it.
Okay. So non-twin linked.
Okay.
And then twin linked.
2 hits.
5 to glance.
Nothing.
Under.
1 glancing hit. It loses a hull point. It's down to 3 remaining. That was bad.
Yeah.
From here, we're coming all the way round to this Land Raider over here. Now, vehicles are never considered locked in combat in Heresy, and the way sponsoon weapons mount work is you divide it in half, and that side can hit that half, that side. You can put all the guns into Horus if you want to, or you can fire over here, or what? What would you like to do?
Shoot Marines or Horus? I think we're going to have to shoot Horus Loop again.
You've got to shoot Horus again. You're just to anger him.
So, non-twin linked.
Okay, 3 hits. 4 hits.
2s. I want to make him angry, it's good.
You wound him 3 times, or do you? Do the serpent scale, hold firm. You know his armour? His armour's better than your armour. The serpent scale is made by Calbor Hal, the fabricator general of Mars.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, I won
Still
that.
go through it.
I won that argument. 3 up and one.
Oh,
He loses a
still
wound.
takes
He loses a wound. Not that good.
Not
Have you
that
got any
good.
more shots? You've got the Spartan there that can shoot, but I don't know what it can shoot at. Turns out it can shoot at my Spartan, which is shrouding, because it's the last thing left to fire.
So, multi-melter.
Yes.
Twin
linked.
linked.
Hits. Nothing. And then
Sunder. Oh no, it's multi-melter.
Yeah.
And then las cannons.
on the side, both of them hit.
Sunder. No.
Nothing. And that is the end of the shooting
You've
phase.
got 1 set of las cannons down into your Palatine blades.
Are you? Okay. Palatine blades. Shoot them. You hit both times. You wound once. There's a lot of cover between me and you. It doesn't help me. One of them gets evaporated, and that is the end of the shooting phase. With Horus bleeding, with one of the Palatine blades taken out, we're doing the charge phase. It would be a 7-inch charge because of terrain, but a 5-inch charge because of Fleet 2 into the Spartan, down the main street, and that is a 6 and a 1. That's a 7-inch charge. They make the charge. Meanwhile, up the other end of the street, the 5 Varangier Terminators charge the Land Raider. They get strength +1 on their thing, and strength because basically it's strength 11 after the charge into this Land Raider, hitting a Land Raider on 2s. This is the benefit of the Howl and the benefit of Russ, and that's lots of penetrating hits, which could blow up because these are all penetrating. Dude, it's definitely going to blow up. There's no way you don't roll a 6.
I really don't want it to blow up.
It does blow up. Okay, how far does it blow up? 3 inches. It hits all your Terminators and only wounds 2 of them and kills 1 in the explosion, and it hits the Land Raider and doesn't take a hull point off of it. You don't consolidate after fighting vehicles, but after that vehicle has been taken out, we're onto the other assault tank. Russ is hitting the Spartan on 2s.
Mastercrafted. No, the Hellwinter is not Mastercrafted.
He's using the
axe.
This is the axe now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a strength 12 on the charge.
Brilliant.
And Sunder.
That's many penetrating hits.
And they glance anyway.
Okay. AP.
AP2, so 6s again.
And yeah, he cuts that one in half. The reactor blows up. How far does it blow? It blows up 6 inches. Russ's squad get showered in shrapnel, and 7 of them hit. And none of them take casualties in the explosion. Over Russ's shoulder, he hears one of his tanks blow up and strikes out against this Land Raider double hard with Worldbreaker. And he needs 4s. And he's got Sunder. Okay, so that's 4 penetrating hits. He doesn't blow it up though. He's clever about it. He just rips it apart limb from limb instead.
But it took him 2 turns to do it.
What?
Russ went through a smartly 1.
Yeah, that's because he was clever. He didn't want to kill it earlier. He wanted to make sure that that was the... yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. We come over here to Frecky or Grecky.
Yep.
Continuing the fight against this unit of Emperor's Children over here, which he should have killed a long time ago, but let's face it, Horus's buffs are keeping them in the fight. And you're hitting them on 3s.
Yep, hit the squad.
Hit them all the times. Wounding on 3s. 6s breach. 1 dies.
And 3 saves.
You only kill 1. And then the normal guys hit you and don't wound. The guy with the spear, with his sword, on 5s, hits once. Can he instant death? This hound from hell. He's had many goes at it. Okay, on to Eidolon with his 4 attacks now. Because your weapons go 7, right?
Yep.
So I need 5s to hit. It is mastercrafted. He hits twice. And he will wound the doggo on 2s. That's 4 brutal wounds that come through at AP2.
You can.
Dead doggo. That's the end of turn 4. I've got troops down here and troops down here and troops in the middle that are going to run up there. And I've got troops over in this corner as well. So I'm covering most of the zones of the battle grid for now. However, you've got troops in the middle and a mobilized Spartan back there, which counts. This Land Raider isn't immobilized yet. Where are your troopy scory things? These guys, the Spartan, the Land Raider, and...
That's it, you've killed the rest.
I've killed the rest.
You have killed the rest.
So what you're saying is, if I send my Primarch into your Primarch, and your Primarch fights first, it's got higher initiative, because Worldbreaker is unwieldy, I would lose a lot of points, potentially.
You would, possibly.
But can Horus actually get away from the Russ? Would he get away from the Russ, or would he turn around and issue challenges and bellow and come charging towards him? I mean, my Primarch's better than your Primarch, so he's definitely not a coward, but there's a lot of Terminators there. Here we are towards the end of my movement phase. What I did is run this unit down here, so we are partially in this deployment zone, and you're in this zone with your immobilized Spartan. So no one's scoring this if they're still there.
Yep.
Otherwise, you score this one with your Spartan if they somehow run and break at leadership 9, stubborn. I think they're okay. I don't think there's any shots coming into them. So that's that zone. My zone, I've got a Rhino, an Eidolon busted over here with this squad of heroes that are still alive, busting down towards... So I've got my zone, I've got your deployment zone, and round here, the squad of green boys, they've ran up and they're now in the middle. So I'm covering all the zones with scoring stuff.
Yep.
I move forward with the Palatine Blade squad towards your Grey Slayers, and they obviously reacted straight away. I think this is like a 10-inch charge through cover, maybe a 9-inch charge to try and catch them and wipe out your last scoring unit in the middle of the battle grid and win the game. That's the plan, because I don't think these Terminators are catching anything. I think the Spartan can't shoot these guys over here. And it would be crazy for me to put Horus in harm's way of the Wolf King.
He's coming for you.
However, I say this to you, you loyalist dog. I say this to you, the Imperium must fall. The Emperor must die. And I will step out here and face you if you're brave enough in your turn to face me on his own. Does he need all of his retinue with him is what I ask you. Is he going to go charging in with all of his retinue, or will he go in on his own like a G? Because I'm not going to charge you. I'm going to stand there in the middle of the street and bellow an order. I could have ran back to this corner here, but we're not going to do that. We're going to stand there instead. Mind you, actually, Lemon Russ can run and charge anyway.
He can't, because he's Primarch, not infantry.
So he can't run and charge. I'm going to stand there. I'm going to stand there and shout.
Yep.
And then we're going to go into the shooting phase. I've got some cacophony over here that can shoot these guys over here. We did it off camera. I killed 2 more of my cacophony. There's only 4 left. They're fearless. But I did kill 4 in this squad here. And that's the end of my shooting phase. And that also means I need an 11-inch charge now. So maybe I shouldn't have shot them. Because it's your last scoring unit. So you are going to Overwatch. We'll do the Overwatch in a second. But can I make an 11-inch charge? That's a 10. No, I shouldn't have shot them. Instead, we came surging forward this way. So tactical mistakes were making on this side. The blood was up. Shouldn't shot at the Grey Slayers. And maybe some tactical mistakes were made here with Horus. Because he's not charging. He's just bellowing a challenge as we go into Space Wolf's turn 5. Sorry, what now?
It will not die.
Oh yeah, it will not die.
He's going to need some more wounds.
He doesn't. He'll be fine. He gets a wound back. He goes up to 5 wounds remaining. So first up, you have a scoring thing in your zone. I have a scoring thing in my zone.
Yeah.
You have a scoring thing in the middle, I have a scoring thing in the middle. But you don't have any scoring things down in my deployment zone yet. Unless you move the Land Raider, and on a 1 it gets immobilized. And it's a 2. It doesn't get immobilized. And the Land Raider manages to get to the enemy deployment zone. No one's scoring any zones. And of course, the Terminators are jumping inside of it with the engine idling over. Now we have some shooting coming up because all of a sudden this Land Raider can see my guys. And if you shoot them and make them break, you take the middle zone. So of course, they're shrouding. Over here, I love you a little bit right now, Sam. Lehman Russ has broken away. He's going to go 101 against Horus. That also freed up your Terminators to run
and maybe make a charge.
So there is a win condition here if your Terminators make this crazy long charge around this side. There's also a win condition over there if your Land Raider makes that unit break. So let's fire with the Land Raider.
Not twin linked.
Not twin linked. 3 hits.
And twin linked.
4 hits. Winning on 2s. You wound 3 times. There's cover in the way. I get 6s. I make none of them. I get 5 up shrouding saves. I make 2 of them. They will hold. What's going on?
I'm going to shoot you first.
What? Lehman Russ is going to shoot me?
Yeah.
But I've done my reaction. I can't shoot you back.
That's a shame.
Okay. 2s to hit me.
And 6 is rend. No.
Nothing. So then we've got some charges. Can you measure up how far this charge distance is here?
This is a 9.
It's a 9-inch charge. So it's going to be an 11-inch charge?
Well, you need an 11. Can I get an 11?
Okay. To win the game. Oh, it's a 10.
10 again.
You get a 10 as well. That would have been a win, dude. That would have been winning the game. So they surge forward a little bit.
And then Russ goes charging.
Ross goes charging in. I'm going to make your charge disordered.
You can't because you're fearless and you can't take morale checks.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So I'm going to overwatch you. And it's twin linked. And then I'm going to wound you on 6s. 5, sorry. Strength 5, toughness, yeah. 2 up save. It just bounces off. Russ goes charging in. So we do some surging and crump. Here we go. 2 Primarchs come together. I've got to turn Horus round, the better Primarch. So we're face to face. Right now, whoever killed more has got a point. But it also comes, I mean, I've killed a lot of stuff, but I had more units than you.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're winning or not.
Not clear.
Initiative of Russ?
7.
Right, initiative for, well, I've got to use World Breaker because it's unwieldy.
Yeah.
So you go first.
Guess what Russ is on the charge?
What is Russ on the charge?
Skill 9, but I can only hit you on 4s.
Yes, he's got a thing that you can never hit him on worse than 4s. It's his thing.
But it means you hit me on 5s.
Why do I hit you on 5?
I'm weapon skill 9.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, okay.
So can I hit you on 4s though?
How many?
Mastercrafted. It's only 4 hits.
Only 4 hits. Strength.
Strength 9 because I get +1 on the charge.
2s to wound.
2s.
Okay, a brutal 2. That is 8 damage. I've got 5 wounds left. A 3 up invulnerable save. Did I tell you about this armor? Cowboy Hal made it. It's really good. I'm going to save every single 3 up save. Every single 3 up save. I'm not going to lose one. Except for the 3 that I lost. And he goes down to 2 wounds remaining. And withstands the charge. And then I hit you back. 6 attacks, 1 for his loadout. 7 attacks. You ready?
Hit me on 5s though.
5s to hit you. Mastercrafted. Hits you twice. Strength 10. Wounds you twice. Brutal 2.
4 ups. Russ takes a wound.
And that is the end of turn 5. That's the end of the game.
I know.
We're going to work out some points. But I want to roll some more dice to see how this is going to end.
Yes.
Round 2, let's fight. 1 minute. First up, at the end of that turn, you get it will not die on a 5 up. He gets his wound back. He doesn't get his wound back, right? And now he hasn't got the charge thing.
So he's only hitting you on 4s as well. Well,
Okay.
still hitting you on 4s.
Yes.
But he hits before you.
Yes.
And
Mastercrafted. Is that 5 hits this time? 6 hits this time.
6 hits, but he doesn't get his +1 strength.
Okay.
So he's only strength 8. And you're
3s to wound now.
Ooh, but that is 6 invulnerable saves.
6 brutal 2 wounds. Or 3 brutal 2 wounds. Horus is on 1 wound remaining. Then he strikes back at you. I need a dice. Thank you. 5s.
4s.
4s. Mastercrafted. Look at that.
And 2s.
2s to wound. And they're all brutal too. 10. 4+ invulnerable saves,
nice.
Russ. I got, what was that? 2 more. Here's 2 more. There you go.
Will Russ hold? Takes 4. He's on 1 wound.
He's on 1 wound remaining. We're on 1 wound each. It will not die on Horus. He gets a wound back. He's on 2 wounds.
He's got that back every time.
Now we're on to round 3. Okay.
Russ, 8 attacks.
Yeah.
On 4s.
Yeah. He only hits twice.
Mastercrafted.
He hits 3 times. Okay. 3s to wound. He wounds all the
6.
times this time. Horus, come in. Hang in there, buddy. He's definitely the best Primarch. He's not the best Primarch. He falls.
Russ slays Horus Lupercal.
But what really happened was there was a flash of a teleport item at the end of turn 5 and he disappears back to the invincible reason, and this is the way the world ends.
Yep.
Okay, Tide of Carnage. No one gets the zones, and then we just read this bit. Sometimes it's kill more or da-da, but this is the side with the greatest number of surviving units at the end of the game gets a victory point.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, plus Horus, obviously, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you've got 1, 2,
3, 4,
5,
6, 7, 8.
It is a victory for the traitors this day. It's a thing. And interestingly, you're going to get a point for kill the warlord and a point for kill and an extra point for Primarch. So if you had killed Horus,
it would have been
a draw.
Yes.
Actually, no, because
then 2-1 because you just get 1 point for having
you'd have won.
Yeah.
If you'd have killed Horus, you'd have won. But in the end, it is a victory for the traitors. It is a victory for common sense. It is a victory for the metric system, overthrowing the ridiculousness of the Imperium. It is a victory for meters over inches and feet. It is a victory for all things good in the world versus dictators and nasty things. It's a victory for Horus Lupercal. I don't know what I was talking about. I got a bit carried away. Tell everyone about the last game you played with Russ and what he did.
So we played...
How many points was it?
It was 10,000 points.
Yes.
So it was a big game.
Yes.
And there was, on the opposition was Mortarion, Magnus and Kabanda.
On the other side?
On the other side.
How many of them did Russ kill?
Well, he killed Kabanda, because Kabanda came in and then he punched Kabanda in the face.
Right.
He then killed Mortarion and the Dreadnought in 1 turn.
Did Mortarion charge you or you charge him?
Mortarion, funnily enough, thought it'd be a good idea to charge the Wolf King.
Right.
And it didn't go with the Dreadnought, but it still didn't go well.
And he killed them both?
Killed them both.
Right.
And then he ran after Magnus for the rest of the game, killed his entire command squad, and then in the last turn slew Magnus.
And he killed them all?
Killed them all.
He just kept going and going and going.
Yeah.
And then you said to me, hey, let's play this big game with Russ and I'll bring Horus and da-da-da. And I went, okay. And you told me that story.
Yep.
So that's why I spent most of the game running away from Layman Russ and trying not to get him into a fight.
Yeah, he's very killy.
To be fair, if you hadn't have split your Terminators away there and just went straight for Horus, you'd have won.
Yeah, because I would have had hatred and he would get a feel no pain from the Speaker of the Dead, but that's no fun.
Yeah. But what I would have done is pull him right back into the corner to try and make the charge as long and as silly as possible. At the start of that game, when you put down your absolutely huge army across the battle grid, I was terrified.
Yep.
There was a lot of nasty things there. And I don't know how it came to this. I don't know how the Emperor's Children managed to win. It was a bit touch and go in that corner. It was a bit touch and go in this corner. I think going first certainly helps at 5,000 points, but I only really blew up a thing and stunned another thing. So, yeah. First turn, not so good for me. I don't know. What do you think?
It's just a lot going on, to be honest. If I could get Russ in combat a bit sooner, maybe that could have swung things.
Yeah.
But I think you played it correctly, is get away from the Wolf King. But yeah, I mean, I I tried to kill as much as I could. I've still got a Land Raider and Spartan alive. You've got none of that. Both your Land Raiders are down and Spartan. But I just had a lot of infantry. Your stuff was slightly more elite than mine, I'd say.
Well, yeah, I think that's a thing. And I think it is also the fact that it wasn't so much a get away from the Wolf King. It's the fact that Horus is a tactical genius.
Yes.
And I'm a tactical genius as well. I won this trophy once. It's up there behind you there, look. So you were fighting two tactical geniuses.
Yep.
It wasn't, I was running away from him at all. It was...
Definitely running away.
It was definitely tactics. We do hope you enjoyed that battle report. Happy wargaming.